So this last month has been really busy for us. We've had 2 volunteers who have been so helpful in terms of getting us caught up on the gardens and getting some really important things done. And the place just looks like miles better. We had some family visit too, so that was really busy, and we've had like a lot of paperwork to do, like so much paperwork, which isn't uncommon in Portugal, but it's like, damn, you guys need paperwork for like everything. I'm just getting lettuce for the geese because they like it. This video is just going to be a little bit of an update in terms of what's new for us and what we've been doing, just to get people up to speed. So yeah, I'll show you the baby chicks. We've got lots of geese. We've got lots of things now producing in the garden, and we also have a road. Yay! We now have 4 geese on the farm. These are Shetland geese, which are actually really quite rare. We hatched them in May using eggs that my mum brought from England to San Miguel, and then from San Miguel to here. I carried them. Unfortunately, our incubator broke. We had about 7 days left to incubate the eggs, and for whatever reason the power just completely shut off. I tried my best to keep them all alive, but unfortunately it took too long to fix. So the 2 females, they died in the shell, and we now have 4 male geese, which isn't the worst thing. I'll probably get some eggs next time I go to England. We decided to keep geese because we have so much water that runs through our land, it would be silly not to. Ducks tend to be a little bit of a nightmare and they just go down to the river. We think geese might, because they are more land birds, they might actually stick around the farm basically. We decided to put the geese in this ditch that we have, where we're going to eventually put a root cellar, but for now it's going to be the geese home. They free range pretty much throughout the day. I don't lock them in anymore because there's no point. So we literally just put up a makeshift fence just in case I'm strumming or we just need to lock them in for whatever reason. They grow really fast, so there was never really any need to lock them in. And they have this entire area and further up to graze, so it's actually a really nice area for geese. So this one right here, she's so broody. What are you doing? You're sitting on one egg. You're crazy. And these girls, well, they've just decided to both share a laying box, which is fair enough. They look very cozy. We had 2 sets of chicks hatch in the forest. This is one of them, and she's got 9 out of 10 chicks still alive. They are, half of them have his genetics, and he is a black copper Moran. He has the brown egg-laying gene, so we wouldn't normally get this excited about having so many chicks hatch, but the prospect of having hens that have the dark brown egg-laying gene is actually really exciting. Going.
Yeah, not where I wanted. Look what Daddy did. What did Daddy do?
I think that was a good one. That was not a good one.
Huh?
That's Daddy's now. No, they're not as sweet as yet.
Got a lot of foggy days.
Yeah. No, I think my other plants really. My squash plants look so good this year. These are acorn squash, which to me taste really quite nutty. They're almost like a sweet potato, but 100 times better. So I've got 5 acorn squash here, and then up the hill. And then up in this area we have 3 pumpkin, 2, 3. So they should, if I put down a lot of manure, spread around this entire area, and we'll get a really good squash year. I have about 20 plants that look like this right now. So for me, that's actually a really good squash year.
So, when I first came to this land, there was no road access at all. All we had was an old ox cart trail that was approximately 1.5 meters wide, the standard width of an ox cart, and an ox team that would bring materials from the primary road up until the mountains here and deliver goods and retrieve goods, and that was the only access that we had. That trail had been long overgrown and parts of it were impassable when we had a heavy rain and mud covered the pathways. And from that path we then had a 300-meter footpath that passed through our forest land and to our house, and that was our only access. Now, over the last few years, things have changed. The government got a grant from the European Union to build an access road to their water tank, which is up in the mountains here, and also accessing more of the pasture land. And so they built a road that passed quite closely to our home. And so I petitioned the government and said, hey, you're really close to my house. You think you could do 500 meters to my house and then I could have a road too? And they're like, yeah, that's cool, man. So they came through with big machines and clawed out the earth and made a path to my house, and the little footpath turned into an actual road. And I asked my neighbors if they wanted a road in their land, and they said no, they'd rather just sell it to me for an inexpensive price because it's just junk land. It's in the middle of nowhere, there's no access points, and it's full of huge trees that serve no purpose. So after the government came through and built their initial road, we had a very rainy winter, and the tubes that were installed as the road crossed over the valley and the river stream that passed down the valley, the tube wasn't big enough and it clogged up quickly in a heavy rainfall, and all the water came over the top and totally destroyed the road and ended up bringing a bunch of material onto the roof of the house. Logs and twigs and mud and gravel just all washing down, and then waterfall onto the back of the house one night at about 3 in the morning. So after that the road was impassable, it was totally destroyed. And then about 8 years later, after asking the government for help and not getting any help, the Forest Service decided to come out and give us a hand. So they brought a machine and brought some materials and deposited it here, and we leveled out the road. And for a point of clarification, it's a 40-meter vertical drop from the point of where the road begins at the top to where it ends at our home. So we've got a 40-meter drop that we have to compensate for in about 250 meters, so it's quite steep. So any material we put there tends to wash out in the first heavy rain, and it just all goes down into the valley. And to replace it. So we've experimented with a lot of different materials over the years, and now we've got it covered over with a new material, which we hope will hold its shape and compact down this winter. So to get these materials isn't easy on the island because the only place that sells the materials doesn't have the trucks to transport the materials and deliver them. So after you buy the materials, then you have to find a way to get those materials from the other side of the island to the location. So I petitioned our local government, the Camera Municipal or courthouse, and they eventually said, okay, cool, if you get delivered, we can bring the trucks from the quarry and deliver it to the village, but we can't bring it from the village to your house because we don't have small enough trucks to drive on the forestry roads. So we got it delivered near our church and had 40 tons more or less delivered there. And then I paid a guy who has a tractor in our village with a wagon behind it and a pneumatic lift to then transport it 3 square meters at a time, or 3 cubic meters rather, 3 cubic meters at a time up the mountain and deposit it onto the road. Very tedious, slow work, but in the end we have a product which I think will hold up this winter when we get the heavy rains. I said to go crazy.
So yay, we have a road, Fred. Andy's off. Hopefully he doesn't fall over again. Oh, you crazy. Yeah. And then A, we finally have transport that works for us. And B, we actually have a concrete parking space. Okay, so that's all from us here in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. If you like what you see, just hit subscribe below and we'll release another video next Sunday. Till then, bye!